So the headphones now are blinking blue and a voice is saying Bluetooth pairing on. In order to complete the pairing, we have to go on the settings of our iPad, go to the Bluetooth tab, then we have a list of the available devices. We choose the model of the headphone, in this case is this Peltor WS5. We press on the name of the device and we wait for the pairing to be completed. The last thing that we have to do now is to set up the Wi-Fi connection of the tablet. So we go to the settings button of the iPad and we select the Wi-Fi panel. In this panel we have here a list of all the available networks around. We have to select the real Wi-Fi network, which in this case is the fifth item of this list. We select real Wi-Fi. Now the iPad is correctly connected to real Wi-Fi, which I remind is the network broadcasted by the helmet, and in this case everything has been set up correctly. The helmet is connected to the network and all the other devices are connected to the network through the helmet. We are now ready to use the system. In order to do this, we launch the Kiber Field application. Pressing the icon, we are presented with a splash screen and then we go to the login. In the login window, we have first to insert the company code. You will insert your own company code. In this case, we will use a general one, namely demo. Then we press OK. Here we are presented with another window where we have to enter the code of the session that we will establish with the Kiber Field technician. In this case, we will use a sample code, which, for example, could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The session code is always made up of 9 numbers. Then we press OK, and now we are connected. We see on the top center of the screen a green indicator, which basically signals that the connection to the server is working and alive. On the top left corner we have the name of the company code that we are using for our connection, while on the top right corner we have the indication of the server to which we are connected. If we press the settings button placed in the middle of the screen to the right, we will access a panel where we have a series of information, including the version of the software, the version of the firmware of the devices. In the first line we have first the name of the application, which is Kiber Field. iOS, this means that you are running the iOS version of the software. 1.3.12 is the current version of the app, while C5 and C5 are respectively the codes of the firmware of the helmet and of the hand cam. We can configure, for instance, in real time the brightness of the visor using the plus and the minus buttons. And then we have some diagnostic information, for instance, the status of the batteries of both helmet and hand cam, the name of the devices. In this case, the name of the helmet is Helmet G3000 and the name of the hand cam is Handcam G0000. The IP address that the devices have, the local IP address of the iPad, the status of the Bluetooth connection, and the name of the network, the local network to which we are connected currently. On the left side, we see 3 buttons that allow us to switch between the cameras connected to the system. If we press the helmet button, we switch on to the head-mounted camera on the helmet. In this case, the Kiber technician is framing the table where I'm placed and moving his head. Of course, these movements are reflected in the motion of the camera so that the connected peers can see exactly what the technician is seeing in that particular moment. You can see that the technician is perfectly able to see his hands, and this is very important in order for the expert to see what the technician is doing and to give indications of what to do. We can switch then to the hand cam, which is in this case now in the hand of the technician. This hand cam is particularly useful if we want to do a close-up of certain details, or if we want to frame details that are not reachable from the head-mounted camera. Then we have also the iPad camera. So in this case we are using the camera which is mounted inside the device. In this case we can also zoom. We have a digital zoom by using the slider on the right of the interface that of course has a different quality depending on the quality of the camera of the device. In this case this is an iPad. The quality of the camera is not particularly exciting. On an iPhone the quality is actually much better. If we select the hand cam, we can also switch on the thermal camera. As you can see, a fourth icon is now available just below the iPad icon. If we press the thermal camera icon, we have access, as you see, also to indications about the temperature of the scene that is framed by the camera. In this case, you see on the right a graduate scale showing the maximum of the detected temperature and the minimum, and then on the center we have the temperature of the point which is at the center of the screen. In this case, as you can see, is more or less 34 degrees. Of course, the precision depends on the camera which is mounted inside, and also on the how the subject is close to the camera. We have also this slider placed in the center that enable us to modify the transparency of the scene, and we can even switch on and off the graphical user interface associated to the thermal camera. Another thing that we can see is that in the bottom right corner of the top screen there are 3 battery indicators which visually indicate the status of the battery of the 3 devices. H stands for helmet, T stands for torch, which is the other name of the hand cam, and P stands for phone, namely in this case it's a tablet, but it can be also of course a smartphone as well. These indicators are also shown in the camera mounted on the head of the technician. So in this case the technician on the visor can see as well the 3 battery indicators.